Ito, bataw ko liryaro.
Sarap kayo isuot, bro.
Iya, aku was ito. Ang kubrera ko. Nakabayo siya. Parang na ito liryaro. 36
6 cents. Ini masih 6 tahun.
Iya, aku right and
Ja, but you're right.
Mama liryaro.
Nobody's born a legend. It takes grit. Try. Early mornings and late nights. 10,000 words of challenge accepted. All immortalized in 1/64th. Because legends aren't born, they're made.
So you said something yesterday, it's been eating me up all night. You said the world has a plan for Africa, but does Africa have a plan for the world?
We must see ourselves as building a house. If you think like that, we see this continent, the continent of Africa, in terms of resources, is the richest continent on earth. But paradoxically and ironically, people are depressed. But we can change that. You should look at when one talks about the world defining and designing Africa, we still are wedded to boundaries which were designed for us by the European colonial powers. True. You yourself were saying something that was so enlightening when you were speaking and you talked about building walls.
That's right.
And one of the things that I picked out of that is that you must collaborate.
Yes. If we actually on business, if we don't have a plan for ourselves, pretty clear that we're speaking in a reality that is designed for us, not by us. The only thing worse than being a slave is being a slave, but under the illusion of freedom.
This week, we're joined by Prof. Lumumba. We met for a conversation in Harare, Zimbabwe. For those of you who have traveled it, I highly recommend that you go and experience the hospitality of the people of Zimbabwe. We'll talk about Africa, we'll talk about Pan-Africanism, we'll talk about history, but most importantly, we're going to talk about what will it take to build a future that all Africans, regardless of where they come from, can find commonality in, prosperity in, and build a life that they can be proud of. This is going to be an exciting episode. Enjoy. Hello family, welcome to Ideas That Matter Plus. You know why we call this Ideas That Matter Podcast? Because we genuinely believe in this podcast, ideas shape the world. And so we love talking to people who understand this, but also who posit for us ideas that matter in one way. I couldn't be more excited today to be joined by all of you here know him. And all of you have listened to some of his work. So he's an incredible voice in the experience of Africans and in the narrative of blackness in the world today. He understands the history of our people, but I also think more importantly he understands the aspirations of our humanity and has the ability to capture both of these and communicate them in a manner that very few, if any, today can actually do. So please welcome Prof. Hi, Prof.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're keeping well?
By God's grace.
God is ever good.
You know, yesterday, you and I were on the stage for the second time.
Yes, indeed.
I should tell you,
Yeah.
when I was preparing,
Yes.
and I knew that you'd done progress,
Yeah.
the last time we were together was in Nigeria,
Yes. I remember.
at the platform.
Yes.
And I went before you.
Yes.
And I thought I could, well, then you went, and I was like, oh, man. So yesterday I was like, make sure Prof goes first. But I love what you said yesterday. And as a student of your work, there is a consistency to the themes that you speak about. For those who are seniors going to the first time, they might not altogether cognize the themes that you speak about. One of the things I love about how you approach the subject of the collective emancipation of our people. In in a holistic sense, is that you're able to give it historical context. So last year, I traveled for the first time to the small island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. And I wasn't aware how important Trinidad was in the relationship the diaspora has had in the past with the continent. And then yesterday,
Sure.
we were talking and how
This
a
is
number
yet
of
again
the
Is it?
conversations we have about Pan-Africanism start
Dat is
with
in die
how
voorseerder
we
geweest.
began.
Nia, this is what she
Oh, het is zo
Tell us a bit about that.
Nia nagmera ko.
Trinidad and Tobago
Okay, sabi ko
and
dito.
Caribbean gentry was the breeding ground of what is described and known as Pan-Africanism. So Dr. Williams of Trinidad and Tobago was the first person to begin broaching the idea that we, as persons with an African association of those who are taken from the African continent, work together to liberate themselves at that time from physical slavery. So the very first meetings were held, of course, in London, yes, in Europe, as Sylvester Williams was the arrow's head, as it were. And he inspired many at that time. So that even when individuals such as Marcus Garvey in Jamaica are beginning to talk about the return to the continent, the original spirit is that of Sylvester Williams. He's a lot more organized, and his work begins to reach the continent, so that while the early meetings are in the 19th century, and during that period we also have people in the continent, people like Kaisaka Sane of South Africa, who is one especially Kaisaka, who is described as one of the founders of the African Congress. That's right. In 1906, he was killed at the University of Columbia, and he's making reference to the works of Sylvester Williams. W.B. Du Bois, in the United States of America, he's making reference to the works of Sylvester Williams. And ultimately, within these works of Sylvester Williams that culminate in the much more known meeting of Pan-Africanists in 1945 in Manchester. And that meeting is the beginning of the connection between the Caribbean Pan-Africanists, the American Pan-Africanists, and the Africans, with Kwame Nkrumah attending that. Obafemi Awolowo attending that. Jomo Kenyatta attending that meeting. There is a debate as to whether Kamuzu Banda
Do you think it's possible to buy a property like this that's giving you a passive income of about 250,000 plus per month?
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, just hilarious. Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building who refuses to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Hart. Welcome back, brother.
He just won't sit down.
How you feeling? Come on, how you feeling?
You might think nobody else will clap for yourself. That's right.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Life is great. No complaints, man. Here to talk about more shit, which means great shit is happening. Still moving, still tracking, still working, still doing the same thing but bigger.
When the last time you took a break, man?
Why? Why take a break? Charlamagne, we talk about this all the time. What do you
You
take
get a
a
little
break?
rest every now and then. Rest, reset.
You can rest when you die.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing what I do. So why am I looking to rest? I have a good time working. I don't like hate my job or my job doesn't stress me out. I enjoy the idea of work. I enjoy the idea of doing something that I set out to do. Like, that's my happy space. Yeah, so I'm not resting anytime soon.
Well, congratulations to your Eagles.
Yeah.
Congratulations to your Eagles.
Huh?
Yeah, congrats. I said congratulations. I didn't say no, nothing. I said congratulations.
You a Giants fan?
I am a Giants fan.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you think me?
I mean, I don't work in your office. I understand what your office did. Saquon Barkley. How about that? How about that? Just a second.
Oh,
Just a
it's a
second.
helmet.
to
See
talk-
the helmet was signed by
Just a
Saquon.
second. Just a second to talk about that.
How about Saquon? It says, Saquon.
How about that? Man, like not a lot of officers can like sit and be like, we fucked up. Like, there's not a lot that can actually go, you know what, man, we really fucked up on this shit, man. Like, who's responsible? Like, they got a point. This one of the few times they got to point at each other. Was it you, Gary? Did you? Who didn't make the fucking deal? I thought it was been, I thought it was in our best interest. The biggest gift in football, man. So stupid. Such
But it was good for Saquon. He wouldn't have had that season in New York.
I'm happy for Saquon.
He wouldn't have had that season in New York.
You don't know what he would have.
That's true.
You don't know what he would
I know they wouldn't have won no Super Bowl.
I mean, that's true, but you don't know the season
That's
he
true.
had.
That's true.
Coming back healthy, ready to play football. It's not like he just got good. He's been fucking good. Healthy, 100%.
He was the face of the Giants.
I mean, 100%. Why do you get rid of say? I just don't understand it. But thank you. I thank the Giants for the gift. One of the best gifts I've ever fucking received as a fan is Saquon Barkley.
Talk to us about this new 2-part documentary you got. Number one on the call
Number one on the call sheet.
Congratulations.
Shout out to Jamie Foxx, man. This is a Jamie Foxx idea that he came to me with at Heartbeat. And it was a concept about being number one on the call sheet and the good and bad of it, right? He's like, a lot of people experience it, but it doesn't do the same for everyone, and whether it's the ego, whether it's the money, whether it's the idea of the money, whether it's the thought of my career is now about to be, and it doesn't become like this.
Mocha, no, I'm not done. I'm busy. I'm starting
It
only.
was a great idea, man. Fox is a brilliant mind. And I said to make it real, we got to go out and, of course, tap into all our relationships. So it started off as just the idea for men, we were heavy on the men's side. And then we were like, yo, it's dope as fuck. And you have it to where, there's a male version, and then we go and tap into a female version as well. And really just expand the conversation of success or lack thereof. And it's dope to hear all these people talk about it. So I think people are going to be blown away by hearing the good and the bad. Everybody doesn't fuck with the concept of it.
Well, being number one on the call sheet?
Everybody doesn't fuck with it.
That's interesting. When did you become number one on the call sheet, and what does it mean to be that?
I've been number one for a while.
When was the first time?
I love it. I love it. I don't want to be very clear. I love it.
Was Think Like a Man the first time?
No. The first one was probably, of course, Paper Soldier, way back in the day.
Oh,
but it's been a lot.
Yeah. Dave will be happy to hear. He'll be happy to hear that you.
Paper Soldier, shouts out to Dave. I think for me it's more about, it's about the idea of building the project. So I'm more of the creative behind the scene now. So to have the idea and the idea come into real life, and you're like, oh shit, we're doing this and it's happening. And then the number one on the call sheet, and you're follow it down. That's great. But now, honestly, I don't really give a fuck. I'm joking about the number one, but I'm more about putting other people in place to do shit, and the producing or the development projects is what drives. That's what drives me.
Now, you never left the road. Why is the road so important to you?
Because you control it, you own it. There's
You do small venues, you do big venues,
nothing better than stand-up comedy. There's no job better than the job of live entertainment, live audience, your fans, your connection, your relationship. It doesn't die, right? If you treat it like a plant and you forever water it, the plant is never going to die, right? So if it can grow and you have good seasons, bad seasons, it's always going to be there. And those fans are just going to ride with you forever. So I'm very adamant on staying true to stand-up comedy. Nothing takes the place of stand-up comedy. I don't give a fuck what I'm doing, the level that I'm doing at. I will go and do comedy clubs. I will come to New York for months on a time and just do a run of pop-ups. That's my muse. That's my stress relief. So,
do you have a specific process? Do you ever still go back and visit family in Philly to get some core material?
Nah, you know what, Jess? I think when you're doing a lot in general, you're always in the space of creative thinking, right? You're nonstop. I'm not in the house. I'm traveling. I'm around people. If you're constantly around, you're constantly seeing things. That's where your ideas are coming from. That's where the urge to talk about more shit happens. Whether it's young energy or old energy, that's where my appetite to go, oh fuck, that's funny. Let me go on stage. I'm gonna see what this is. Or, oh God, this is a new fucking this is a new bait or possible like idea to get to the bait, so I can fucking get like some dope shit. Once I get excited about it, then I'm hitting the ground running. But it's not family generated. It's travel generated.
Yeah.
Where am I going? What am I experiencing? Who am I around?
Did you hear David Wayne say that he would never do stand-up anymore because like people are too sensitive?
No, he said people are stupid.
Well, yeah.
He said people are dumb.
Basically, he said that people get offended too fast, and it's like it's just not worth the stress.
I understand. I mean, I don't see it the same way because I don't have that level of giving a fuck. I don't want to do the thing that I love to do because I'm caring so much about what everybody else is thinking about what I'm doing. Like
I think he meant that on how the Wayans used to be. Like they no limit. Like you talk about anything, but now since the new trend is being offended and a lot of people are just
and it is what it is though. Like
all
that's
these
not
different
going to
communities.
I mean, Dame is Dame. Dame is a legend. Like if Dame wanted to go on stage and fuck around, Dame can do what he wants when he wants. The idea of people being upset or fucking triggered, if you're thinking about that, like then you're going down a crazy spot. I'm not doing comedy and thinking about the thought of what you think about what I'm saying. Like I have the things I want to talk about. I know the direction I want to go in. I'm not here to offend. I'm not here to aggravate or piss people off. I'm here to do my craft.
I think you can get away with anything if it's actually funny.
If it's
I
funny,
really believe that.
if it's funny and it's coming from a genuine
Place I'm trying to make you look at it.
like I'm not being malicious.
Yeah.
Like if your intent is to be malicious behind said thing and there's no real humor attached to it, it's just an angry fucking suggestion. That's different. But I'm not in that space. I'm not doing shit with people.
When the last time you been angry, Gus?
Last time I've been angry? Been a minute. It's been a minute. I don't know what do you mean? Like, what are you angry about? Like, why are you letting things drive you to the point of a level of anger that prevents you from doing something else?
Yeah.
Like, it takes so much energy to be angry.
Or do you have something that when you even get to that point, like, is it the gym? Is it your kids? Is it the stage? Like,
I know this is gonna sound crazy. There's nothing that pressing to make me angry. You can have a moment, you can be frustrated for a moment, but then I'm solution oriented.
what's the solution? That's what I mean.
Yeah, like what's this? Okay, if something happened and it's upset, all right, well why? Like why did it happen? Like anything, it's all office or business related. So like what? Well why? All right, well now that is the case, like what are we doing to basically get outside this box?
Yeah.
How can I help get outside the box? Like me being upset that you're in a mistake doesn't change the mistake. And by the way, this is a mistake you always make. All right, well we gotta remove you. I'm sorry, but that's business. I'm not angry about it, sure, but it's a professional assault.
Have you apologized yet to Delaware State University?
For what? Why would I?
Deshaun Jackson said you were sorry.
Huh? Deshaun Jackson said I was sorry. Oh, you talking about when I said
I forgot what he said. What did he say?
Jokes.
I said something like,
That's not a college?
that's not a real college. It's a bunch of niggas on
It's a park or something? Oh, a bunch of niggas. Yeah.
A bunch of niggas on campus. I mean, first of all, it is, all right? But it's like smart people there too. We're talking about. I fucking used to go to Delaware State all the time. I performed there several times. Philadelphia, right up the street.
Yeah.
Delaware State knows I have no ill will towards them. I love you guys. It was a funny bit. It was a lot of niggas out there.
You guys should made a show out, Little Kids.
Yes.
Talked about your life growing up.
Yes.
What made you want to do that? Animation style.
You know, this is a crazy development, and this is, I want to say like 7 to 8 years in the making. Before we could actually like do it properly. Shouts out to Scott Mills over there at BET, man, for understanding like my world of want and allowing me to do it the way I wanted to do it. You know, it's an adult animation, and I wanted to like flip the story of the conversation attached to the hood, right? Like everybody talks about the hood from one point of view. You know, the hood is the hood, and people like the hood is fucked up, it's so bad. But
there's a bunch of niggas in the neighborhood.
Yeah, like that, and I think that there's a positive side to it. You know, there's a role that everybody plays in the hood, especially when it comes to kids, families. Like everybody's a part of the village. Everybody's raising everybody's child. Everybody is aware. Everybody didn't know. Everybody's trying their best to service me and good. And even bad shit is happening. You know, when people find out, there's an energy attached to trying to solve it and make it better. And it's a way of just putting the conversation on the hood upside down. So it's about me my upbringing, being in the hood, and having such a high level of love for the hood, for my family, and for all the people around it.
And Just Hilarious is in it. Keeping her away from Breakfast Club.
Oh, come on. That's don't listen. I don't. That's ridiculous. I don't, first of all.
Thank you.
And when people say, like, I want to make something very clear. When people say, like, Kev, thank you for giving people a job, people earn a job. Like, I'm not giving
Thanks.
anything. I'm not out like, hey, here's a fucking gift. Like, that's her team, that's people working and saying, hey, this is a thing to possibly put Jess up for. And
But you
Jess
can say
won't
no.
process. I mean, you could say no, but when people are talented and earning things on their own, it's happening the way it's supposed to be. I'm not in the space of know of everything, and I'm handpicking people and doing that. That would mean that I'm the time in the day to do that and do it and do it and do it. And that means that people around me aren't doing what the fuck they're supposed to do. So it's your job to like properly package and, put people in places to make these projects good. And it's my job to see it at the end stage and going, wow, this is a great cast. These are great personnel, great roles. I like this. I like this configuration. But Justice Herman.
Definitely. And you do take the time to pour into the next generation. Drewski was up here and Drewski said that you gave him and Kai Sinat a bunch of movies to watch.
Yeah.
And told them, get your whatever your stupid ass is doing now, watch these movies and prepare for the next level. That's right.
I like what the younger generation is doing. It's crazy I'm saying it. Like I'm really a part of like a time of old.
How old are you now?
45.
Dang! I did that for
Iets zo maximaal hebben
that older generation of like how we approach the business, how we approach the craft, right? Like, and I think it's dope as fuck to see this new generation navigate differently. Like the comedians of today did not go and work at it the same way that we did. Like they're breaking new ground, finding ways to be the personalities first, and then get to the stage after. And the way they're engaging with their audience, the way the audience is responding to them, I think it's dope as fuck. So and being a fan of it, I feel like it's my job now to figure out ways to like grab this personnel when and where I can, and try to push them forward. But Kai and Drewski, Kai is such a monster, man. Like I don't think people realize how big Kai's audience is. Like,
yes, we do.
Kai's fan base is insane. Like you're talking about somebody that's talking in front of a computer for hours on end, and he holds anywhere between 300,000, 400,000 people for 8 to 12 hour periods that don't move. Like when we did those streams, you're putting up Super Bowl like numbers. We had at one point like 900,000 people in a fucking stream watching for hours on end. So I told him, I said, look, man, I want to show you guys ways to like give your audience more and ways to do more. So I came up with some dope ass ideas, concepts for us to rock in together, but stay true to the space of what they're doing. So Drewski, I know he came and he was like telling you guys about the movie. I don't want to tell y'all what it is, but it's a big idea that we're working now. But I was like, to do it, you guys got to educate yourself on things in this space. So it wasn't homework. I was like, understand production, understand how movies are made, understand the look and feel, so that when we're talking and ideating, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I want to talk to you, you got to go backwards and track what we're talking about. So the homework, quote unquote, the homework was more about get this concept and then like let's get to the table and let's make the shit funny. But I got them really like creating the shit and developing it, and not because it's a chore or a task. It's like I want you to be a part of the process so you can understand the process. And after you do this with me, go do it yourself. Go do it and figure out ways to do it with the other people that you're around. But I think they're fucking talented. I think Drewski's a star. I think Drewski's a funny fucking guy, man, naturally.
And God,
I think they're fucking like natural talents. And in this, it's like putting them in a position to be what they are and be the first to come over the bridge from that space of streaming, whatever. Like what Mr. Beast is doing is dope. His game show, big game show. He's taking everything and the idea of game, prize. He redefined it, right? Like if you really watch it, what he's done, he redefined the concept of game show. We've seen it for years on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and all these other shows, but it was a traditional there's a traditional win, and here's your gift. He broke that model. I'm gonna give some cats, some regular people, man, who did it time after time and time again, and then built a big ass series. And hey, man, fucking streaming platforms like, hey, we gotta fuck with this guy. We're gonna give him X, Y, and Z to do it. We want you to do it with us. But he controls it. He owns it. So I'm showing them how to control, how to own, and do bigger things. So it doesn't cap out at the street.
Drewski said you actually set him up in that stream. With that little kid, he said it was you that actually set him up.
This is
I
That's what he
mean,
said.
you did it though. You did start it.
He said you started.
They follow your lead.
He said he followed your lead.
Because you're the OG, they follow your lead.
That's right.
First of all, what you need to understand is where the cameras are at all times. Well, I said Drewski was in his ear. I said something in his ear. Okay, nobody really knows what I said. He knows what I said. And then he took the liberty of going and, saying very harsh things, by the way. And, things that shouldn't be
We
said.
see you move right out like you see.
I mean, I don't want to be around that. Okay? I've seen a lot of people get in fights. I've seen when it's about to happen. I go, I shouldn't be here. Right? I shouldn't be here. They about to start shooting. Yeah. By the way, he's got the gun. I see it. I'm gonna leave right now. So I just exited the room. Right? I think at the time I had to go to the bathroom, actually. And then a lot of stuff, from what I was told, a lot of shit happened. From what I was told, the kids started crying and stuff like that. And I came back and I'm like,
You wasn't even around.
I came back and I was like, what's going on? Right? At that time, I'm the adult in the room trying to calm shit down. Right? Like, hey, man, what's happening? And I think all the cameras caught me saying that, which is good for me legally. So I was never attached.
Drewski said he felt like he could make those jokes because he's fat and y'all were teasing him all day about being fat.
Oh, Drewski, first of all, calling people fat that's aggressive.
Well, you saw the big thing in him.
Yeah, I just want to where the camera. I just want to say that's it. You understand what that is?
The F word.
Is Drewski big? Yeah, is he a little bigger? Right? Does he have problems breathing when he walks up steps? Yeah, of course. But that little kid, I think, is on his way to a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
You gotta support that, right? The little kid, because I think the little kid was talking about exercising and stuff. Yeah. Which is good. And I'm always glad to just be on the positive side of conversation. That's what I'm about.
That's right.
I'm a beacon of light. Joy.
Kevin, at the level of success that you are being an actor, do you still have to audition for roles, or?
Absolutely not. Okay, so what are you talking about?
Because Martin Lawrence, he said that he does.
There's something about mom's touch. It makes cough, headache, and blocked nose go poof.
It's more than just my touch. It's Vicks Vapora. It relieves nasal congestion, cough, body ache, headache, and muscle stiffness. Good night's sleep. Vicks Vapora.
This tablet is equipped with the latest Android operating system and has an 8-core processor, allowing you to multitask seamlessly. It has a 10.1-inch Full HD touchscreen, ideal for watching videos or taking photos. Temu is running a huge promotion on electronics these days. That's why we can offer you such incredible discounts. Quantity is limited, so download Temu right now and get yours before it runs out.
Martin.
I think Martin said he still got a pitch project.
Oh, pitch that? Yeah, that makes sense. If he's pitching things. Am I really pitching things? I think I'm pitching ideas to my team. I'm more in the business of creating the things that I think best service my want and my direction in the business. Like, when you think about the dramas, when you think about all the things that I've done, it's like that's been me. So, true story. I was like, I want to fucking kill somebody on camera. I think it'd be dope. And I went and found a guy that created Narcos, and I was like, yo, it'd be dope as fuck if we could collab and talk, but we developed it. And then I was like, okay, this is great. Let's go and take this out. Like, that's developing it and then going to sell it. Fight Night, that was me, Will Packer, and Will telling me he had to write, and I was saying, hey, to do it, this can be dope as fuck, but let's do it this way and put the right people in it. So, like, the creative side of from start to finish is where I'm playing it now. But like auditioning, I'm not really auditioning. I think people, if they have a project, they're like, oh, Kevin would be good for this, and I'm getting those calls. Hey, we need to do. And then I got a decision of if I want to do it or not.
Like for instance, The Upside. That's still one of my favorite movies. You and Bryan Cranston. They already saw you for that role.
They said we want to do the remake, and we see you and Bryan Cranston doing this. Are you interested?
And that was genius.
Absolutely. And Nicole Kidman. I was like, absolutely, hands down. But it's coming out and having an ass. Not to say that I wouldn't audition.
You would?
No, you wouldn't.
I'm about to say.
I was trying to clean it up. I was trying to clean it up. I was trying to, nobody got cameras there. I just wanted to look in and make it just look like I'm willing to do. Right? I just want to get maybe you understand.
When's the last time you got booed? The reason I ask is you said you do small shows.
I know I got booed. I mean, I'm not getting booed. Like, I'm not getting booed at this point. Like, even if jokes aren't funny, you know, you're getting the credibility laughs at least.
So you try laughing just because it's you.
Like you trying things out.
Good laugh though, you don't want those.
When you trying things out, you don't care.
You don't want a damn boo either.
You don't care. Like, honestly, there is no care for like the level of laughter when I'm trying to figure shit out. Now, when I think I've got it all done, and I'm like, oh, this set is complete, and I'm going out and I'm struggling, okay, then that's a little self-esteem bruising, if that's the case. But that hasn't been the case ever. Like when you work the shit and you done worked on the craft, and I'm like, okay, I got it down, this is my set. You're not running into them problems. Now, if you get an occasional person that you got to deal with in the crowd, yeah, but that stuff isn't booing. That's like, atmosphere. That's heckling or somebody yelling out and looking for a moment. Every once in a while, you got to show that you still got that. And, you put people in a place comedically, and then you move on with the set. But booing? No.
What about like social media backlash? Because everybody, for whatever reason, was highly upset when you hosted NBA All-Star Weekend. Or there was a section of the internet that was acting like this.
What energy do you give that? I'm a partner to the NBA. Like, understand what that means. I'm not coming on to be Kevin Hart and have funny moments to the NBA. The NBA has been a servicing aid to my career for over 15 years. Mm-hmm. Like, you go back and you'll look at how much I've been on NBA, TNT, and All-Star Weekend, Celebrity Weekends, all these events. Like this, it's almost host adjacent, right? Like the personalities that we lean on because we're familiar with family, we know how they work. That's what that is. So the All-Star, I'm not going to the All-Star game and trying to create a big moment for me. I'm there because the energy of the All-Star game comes with Chuck, Ernie, Kenny, myself, Shaq. Like, we've been doing this for years. Like, just talking and playing with one another, bantering on camera. That's not an easy thing to do. They make it look fucking easy. They make it look great. That's not an easy thing to do.
Between you and Shaq.
Yeah, like that's not fucking an easy thing to do. Like that chemistry, that rapport, it comes from like having a real understanding for how TV works. So you can't just throw new things in there because it gets weird. People don't understand the time. People don't understand the cuts. How much time you gotta go? Cut back to the game. They're trying to do so much new shit. They're trying to discover it. So while they're trying to figure it out, here's personalities that we can lean on, so at least we don't have dead space or dull moments on camera. That's what that is. So when you understand the technicality behind it, then you understand my involvement. I don't think it's that shit. Like, I don't want to make partnership.
Do you ever tell Shaq to like really back up off you? Could he be kind of sexually assaulting you in a movie?
What? Shaq, look, come on.
Just a little.
What? It's on because there's only one time when Shaq has done some crazy shit. Man.
Okay.
So I was uncomfortable.
And what was it?
That was real hurt. And that whole thing that's on the internet.
That wasn't scripted, right?
That wasn't scripted. I bet it was a moment when honestly, to be real, I couldn't do nothing about it. I was like, yeah, they got to cut. This is before I put a little size on. Not to say that I could do something to Shaq, but I didn't. It was a very frail version of me. And this is when Shaq was like, when they were like just talking about Shaq being a cop, and he really was a cop. He could be funny as fuck. Shaq pulled me over on Real Husbands of Hollywood, and like Shaq was like basically about to arrest me. And he fucking, everybody can't improv.
Say what he did.
I'm not gonna lie.
That was what he touched.
That's crazy. They kept rolling. They kept rolling. No, you don't even have to say this. We're not even going to discuss it.
People who haven't seen it. Realism is a great show. You should watch it.
It's a great show.
But it's not online.
Yeah, what we're not going to do is make it seem like something. So what he did was he grabbed me when I got out the car, and he just tried to get a little physical, right? He was like,
pat you down.
Yeah, but just like everybody doesn't improv the same. Comedy is an art. Like you ever see comedians when they try to like improv and some of them go too far or they don't know when to stop. You're like, hey man, we gotta end the scene. Like you can't go over there like, oh yeah, well your mama. And you're like, well, my mom, you can't bring up moms because you don't know who our moms are in this scene. It's like
I just Googled it.
Yeah,
And it says hashtag pause of the week. Hey yo, nah, Shaq, you straight violated Kevin Hart. You literally took that man to Pound Town.
This is what you're doing is ridiculous. That's actually nuts. That's nuts. He grabbed me, threw me over the car. And he starts humping me. So I'm like, I remember.
Hold on, he turned you around, bent you over.
Wow.
He did do all that.
Kevin's face and say you can tell.
Let me tell you what I can tell Charlamagne. Charlamagne is a pervert. Like he's a nasty man. Yeah, like in this brief time, I just found out a lot about him. By the way he starts describing stuff, he's a very graphic, nasty man. Yeah, I just saw.
I'm just describing what Shaq did to you.
He grabbed me and he fucking like throws me in the car and he's like, you don't know what I did. He starts humping me. I remember Ralph was directing the episode, right? I remember Ralph was directing the episode. I remember I looked at Ralph and I'm like, hey, did y'all, is it big pages? Something happened? Right. And they were like, all right, nobody wants to say shit to Shaq. They were like, all right, we got it. So let's just move on. We just fucking moved on.
Is that talk like that?
No, we didn't address it. We were like, man, just like, everybody just shut up. I'm trying to get you again off guard. Everybody just shut up. No, you don't.
Did you get triggered a little bit? I saw you. He was creeping up behind you.
That's a very. I'm older and I'm in a much more controlling state in my life where I would say something, Shane. Don't do that. Right? Stop it. No. Hey, you gotta stop it. Right? Make a firm stop that. Right? But in that moment, that was Shane. That's my nigga. I have so much love.
Do people know the role of this generation? Do they know the pivotal role Shaq played in your career?
The pivotal role? No, I don't think people do know the pivotal role.
What is the pivotal role? That sounds crazy. No, I'm being serious. We don't know. When he had the Shaq comedy All Weekend.
Yes. He's referring to like the special that actually launched. I would say like the bigger side of success to my comedy career. No bullshit. It is Shaq's All-Star Comedy Jam. That was a thing. You know the crazy thing? I did it as a favor. It was a favor. Like I was like, oh man, I can't really do shit. I'm about to drop my special. So I don't really want to like go and do this. But no, I kept on. Like we need a headline. They were looking to come really quick, and it was like just a gig during All-Star Weekend. Like we on tape it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna put like a different 15 minutes on this, man. And I don't really, I'm not really pressed about it like that. So I'll give y'all this 15 and I'll save that shit for my special. So it's like a toss-away set. Wow. That was hilarious. It was a toss-away 15-minute set, like a backlog set. Like, I'll give y'all this. And shit ends up being the biggest. So shouts out to the big dummy himself.
I want to go back to number one on the call sheet because Sterling K. Brown did an interview where he said that people wanted to put him.
You right now?
This is One Night with Trevor Noah. How much time do we have? 10 minutes, much you want. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was like, fuck it, let's go. Do you want to start with the Kanye or should we? Actually, I wanted to show you what I'm wearing underneath here. Can you imagine? That would have been really funny if I turned up in like a fur coat and nothing underneath. Would have been a bit of a weird joke. Actually, I actually do want to start with the Kanye. So, as the executive producer of the Grammys, yeah, do you
like, are you happy or are you pissed? Or is there another emotion that comes with seeing Kanye West like pop up on the Grammys red carpets when he wasn't supposed to be there? Like, is there like a thing that, no, because on one hand it's good for the show in a way, because everyone's like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Oh, and on the other hand it's like you have a pre-planned thing. Like, what's your first emotion when that happens?
Genuinely honest.
Yeah.
I couldn't care either way. Like, I was like, I think he's not for me.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was just like, oh, you know, it's just what he does, right? But I genuinely didn't think about it. The truth of it is, during that red carpet, you know, like, that is the most stressful period of, like, my year. That 1 hour, that 90 minutes.
That's the 1 hour leading into the show.
That's the 90 minutes where you finish dress rehearsal, which went terribly, and you finish that at like 2:40, and then the show goes live at 5. So that Lorne Michaels thing, he's always, it doesn't matter when you're ready, the show goes live at 5 and it is what it is. So like, there was a thing about Kanye, I genuinely didn't even see it till after the show. Honestly, I didn't.
Wow.
Like, I knew there was a thing, and I knew he'd done like a stunt with his wife, and I was like, oh. I said, is the camera's gonna work? Is the comms gonna work? Is the show gonna work? Like, that's all I was thinking about at that time. I was very in the zone, so I wasn't distracted. But I knew he wasn't coming to the main show.
How did you know that?
Because I'd heard that he was just coming to the red carpet and then leaving, and he didn't have I'm in charge of the floor plan.
Yeah. So that's what got me, because I know where everyone's going to be sitting, and I didn't see Kanye. Then for a moment I thought you didn't tell me Kanye was coming because you wanted to surprise me.
I don't know if anyone knew Kanye was coming, but but there was no truth, genuinely no truth to him being kicked out. Like, that's just not true. He went and did the carpet, and as far as I understand it, he then got in the car and left.
Huh.
I don't know.
Tell people he was coming.
I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. You'd have to ask the Academy.
I suppose in theory, there's no way to stop him from coming. So, well, if he came as Jay-Z's
But
guest,
he was nominated,
for example, right?
Yeah,
Was
that's
he nominated?
true.
Yeah,
That's
if he comes as Jay-Z's guest, Ben can't then say, hey dude, you're not off with me.
Yeah, that's right. If you're a +1. That's true. That's a very good point, because I never know the +1s. So you know that, like, Madison Beer is sat over here.
But
she
you
may
know
not be
it's
ready.
really
Because last year, she may be Kanye West.
Last year,
And then
Jay-Z came with Uzi, right? So it could have
been. Yeah, but you said that, but then people, you're right, you don't know, and people show up with famous people, and then suddenly they're on camera. You didn't know they were coming, and it's like, oh, they're there with, you know, whoever.
I think this was the most dramatic red carpet we had at the Grammys, like in the years that we've done this together. Because this was the year where Kanye steps onto the Grammy. Then immediately there's every opinion, right? So some people were going, how can the Grammys allow this? There are children there. Now there's a naked woman on the red carpet. My children. There's always the children. I'm always like, the children are there. The children. So that's what the people were saying. And then, I don't know if you saw any of these actually, because you're so wrapped up in the show.
Yeah.
But then there was also, then there was the Babyface.
Oh, yeah, I did
you see that, right?
I did see that.
Yeah, the two AP reporters or whatever they were interviewing. They're interviewing Babyface mid-conversation. Yeah, they're just like,
You know what? I only actually saw that well afterwards because Khloe Kardashian tweeted about it. She posted the video going, Babyface is a legend, how dare you? And the first thing I thought was, and the Babyface is a mate of mine. Like, I love Babyface. Like, he's like, not only is he a legend and an icon and a music aficionado, he's also one of the nicest men.
He actually is.
He's genuinely.
No,
even how he handled that. Was
yeah.
Oh my God, he's full of love and praise. I love being around him. Like, I find him an inspiring dude just from his manner. But I felt sorry for those reporters. I actually did, because it's like the culture that we're in right now, where like they're red carpet reporters on AP. They're not Trevor Noah hosting the Grammys. They don't have 10,000 hours of experience. They're on a thing. They probably don't know the story and the history of Babyface's commitment to music. And then Chapel Roan, who is one of the biggest stars, they know Chapel Roan better than they know Babyface, and they're like, oh, don't. And they know that they're going to get more bang for their buck there. I'm not being disrespectful to Babyface. Of course they have it badly, but I think it's also why he said, do you want that? Like, he's so sweet.
That man has been in the game since when?
Yeah.
He knows every red carpet. He knows he knows what the game is about. So to your point, he didn't even, he had no ego in the way he did it. He was like, oh, you guys need that, don't you?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm on my way. He's like, I stopped to talk to you because you need this. And now he's like, I get that you need that. But I think what it was is this, he doesn't need it.
No, he doesn't.
So he wasn't offended in any way, and he was like, oh, whatever. He's like, I don't need this.
I agree. I just wish people didn't immediately like go out to find who those two girls are, and then let's just make their life miserable.
You just wish the internet doesn't exist.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, in all fairness, I do need a certain. I think there's like a certain amount of accountability that they need to be held to.
Red carpet. No one ever needed to see it. No one had known about it. Why does everyone need to be so offended all the time?
No, but okay.
On his behalf, I see why.
But if he wasn't, he said straight afterwards, then I didn't care less.
Yes.
He'd be embarrassed by this whole thing.
Yes. I think it's a tough lesson for them, like the way they're learning the lesson. If they had a good producer, someone would just say like, don't do it like that again. Next time, rope the person in. Oh my God, it's Chapel Roan. Babyface, do you know Chapel Roan?
Yeah.
Oh, Chapel, have you ever? Man, oh, legend, old school legend, new school. Oh man, Chapel, you have to work with Baby. You two should do a thing. And then you get those magic moments as well in the couple where it's like now you got Babyface and Chapel Roan.
Whoever saw that coming?
And then she might go, I'm a huge fan of this song. And he's like, what? I didn't know. She's like, yeah, the way you remixed that, the thing you did with Mariah Carey on that song. Oh, it inspired me to sing that. That could have been a moment. That's why they're $10 million.
But this is
we saw a lesson in hosting. I thought I was coming to what now? I'm actually coming to masterclass. I'm coming to masterclass.
This guy. I can't even.
I was going to say, this is actually the issue though with a lot of the, I'll say podcast culture, or the people that end up broadcasting without putting in the 10,000 hours, right? Because back in the day, if you ended up with any kind of a platform, you would have done things like a small television station or whatever it is.
That's actually
you get to the point
Yeah,
where you know how to deal with the red carpet moment, which is largely unscripted. Anything happens. Now, what you end up with is people that obviously have a very, very strong following, but they haven't got the experience behind them to be able to know to do something like that.
Sorry. I'm confused. We're talking about two girls who are hosting for AP live on a red carpet.
Yeah.
They're not hosting the Oscars here.
No, but Caesar's right though. No.
This is their experience.
But here's where Caesar's right. Back in the day, you couldn't even get to the AP hosting on the red carpet without having like really. You know what you see this actually with stand-up comedy now today, right? There are comedy clubs around the country, like the US particularly, and some in the world, where they started hiring people who are funny on TikTok. And then they come to the comedy club, their fans come, they pack it up, and then 10 minutes in, everyone realizes no one was prepared for this moment. Like the TikTok comedian doesn't know how to make the people laugh, or doesn't know how to shift with the room. The room doesn't know what to do, and then club owners started booking backup acts for the TikTok stars because they knew that red carpet thing would happen to them in the clubs. So I hear what you're saying, but I also hear what you're saying. It's not like they shot Babyface, is what I'm saying. No, let's be honest. We also seem like what they did, we made it seem like there were some people online who were like, Babyface, I can't believe all the work. They made it seem like Babyface like dragged himself down the carpet.
Yeah.
Still bleeding from the wound they'd inflicted upon him.
It's difficult, and it's difficult on live, and it's like, and I got it. They knew that they were going to get more hits if they managed to get Chapel, and Chapel's not hanging around. Chapel's not going to go, and I don't mean anything about Chapel, but she's not going to go, oh, I'll sit here for 6 minutes while you finish with Babyface. She's on, and you've either got to get her or you don't. Yeah, I get it. But you're right, the way they should have done it would be the collab.
Yeah, I think this is like a swag that, to your point, would come from experience. I wonder what would have happened if Kanye came in. I'm not going to lie. I kept on wondering what would have happened.
Inside the venue?
Yeah.
And don't forget my cough syrup. Is it a wet or dry cough? Hello? Don't be a chance. Take Vicks Active Plus. Unlike other cough syrups, its dual action formula relieves both wet and dry cough. Vicks Active Plus. Tired of waiting in line? Banking shouldn't slow you down. Introducing Smile Cash, your digital wallet designed for convenience, flexibility, and more. No paperwork, no stress. Dial *225*1# and follow the easy steps to onboard. Need cash? No card? No problem. Link your card and enjoy cardless withdrawals and easy transfers anytime, anywhere. Pay in any currency and scan to...
What are you getting out of your T5? Spend less on electricity. Spend more on you. Save more, flex more. T5.
Like, would he have done something? No, what I mean is
he
like,
most likely would have done.
so you think he would have come on stage?
100%. And I'll tell you why. Whenever there's been a big moment and Kanye knows that he can seize it, he will. Funny enough, MTV Awards, I don't even know what year it was, when he stepped on stage and Justice vs. Simeon won the video for Video of the Year.
Yeah.
And he had, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he had that video on. He steps on stage and he goes, man, this video cost $1 million, fam. I had Nia Long in this. So whenever there's a moment that you can seize for attention, yeah. Now, obviously that was a long time ago. Maybe he's a different man now.
Well, I don't think so. He like seized the red carpet.
Yes. How would you have coped if he was in the room? How would you have felt honestly if he was in the room, knowing that he was there, knowing that there's an unpredictability around you at those tables? Because you're vulnerable.
Okay.
Because you're not most hosts are on a stage.
Yes.
They're away from
Yeah, they're not amongst the people.
You are right in a
Okay, so one, he's very unpredictable, but I have met Kanye, and post me and Kanye having a thing. And can I tell you, he was very sweet, he was very nice, he had a cordial conversation. And one of the things about Kanye that I think a lot of people don't know is, even when he has his like, you know, when he spins and when he's going through something, whatever it might be, bipolar or not, Kanye West loves comedy. Like, loves comedy and loves telling jokes. And if you listen to his raps, you know how much he loves telling jokes. He's got some of the best punchlines in his raps. But when he tweets them, I think a lot of them don't come off well. And comedy, as we all know, you miss. You know what I mean? Comedy is about missing. So the first part I'll say is this: I wouldn't be afraid, but I would be worried for the show and what's going to happen. Because now, is Kanye going to go up when Taylor's up again now? Is Kanye going to... Because now I'm the person who's in the room. And then now I go, you know, you don't want Kanye West getting tackled by a security guard, but you also don't want to be the security guard. So I don't know what it would be. I think I would have, and then on a night when we're there, and half the room, I would say even 3/4 of the room, has like a strange morose feeling to them. That's not the night you want unpredictability. No.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, but like this Grammys emotionally was the hardest Grammys I've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Look, the Kanye thing is, look, for me, I would have done everything we can. I don't know.
Would you have cut to him or cut away from him?
I'm not going to talk on him and the Grammys either way. Luckily, I didn't even know about it because I was too busy. But I'm not going to go out my way and go, oh, let's clear a table. Let's get one of the nominees in the jazz category to give Ye a table. I'm not. But if it's up to the Academy, and it's nothing to do with me.
I think people would have been stressed in the room.
But it was. But moving from that, it was a very different atmosphere because people didn't know how they were supposed to feel. Yeah. And it was a really weird one because everybody's there and you won them over in a big way and so did the show, and I feel really good about that. And the response that we've had from it, I don't know if you read reviews,
I don't.
but no, I don't. So Vanity Fair, Variety, Hollywood Reporter are also without question best Grammys of all time. Like they're really going wild of it. And I do think that's because you got the balance really well.
No,
but it was
I think the show
incredibly tricky, for sure, because people don't know whether, is this supposed to be a sad event? Is it a happy event? Are we dancing or are we crying? Are we giving or are we taking? It was a weird dance for you to have to do.
Yeah, but I think for all of us, so, okay, like, to your point, everything is happening in relation to everything else. That's life, right? So now you're in Los Angeles, where everyone, you forget 6 degrees of separation. Everyone either lost a home or knows someone who lost a home. So it's as simple as that. You just start with that, right? So you've got the room full of people. But now what I realized as the night was going was, we're also in a moment where the majority of the people in that room are also feeling a certain kind of way. So Lady Gaga, if it was any other year, would have just been like, fun times, thank you very much. And then Lady Gaga goes, yo, trans people are not invisible. And you're like, oh shit, yes. Trump said the thing, and this is on Gaga's mind, and and then you think that's done, and then Chapel Roan comes up, she wins the award. She doesn't just go like, what a good time, I love life, wow, I'm a new artist, I'm the best. No, she goes, let me tell you how shit it is being an artist who doesn't make money, and what actually happens on the other side, or before the precursor to success. You can't afford anything, you don't know what your life's going to be, and you don't have healthcare. And if you don't have healthcare in America, you're screwed. You know what I mean? So now, in a way, she's touching on like the Luigi Mangione of it all, And people are like, oh yeah, healthcare. We're screwed in this country. And then
Alicia with
then Doechii gets on, and then Doechii goes, it's a celebratory thing, but then Doechii gives you a reminder. She's like, yo, if you're a dark-skinned black woman, you are seen as aggressive, you are seen as wrong, you are seen as loud. So again, people are cheering, but they're like, oh yeah, shit, what a shit. And then Alicia Keys comes on and she goes, hey, we do need diversity. We want everyone in the same room. We want people together. We want to create. So you realize that everyone walked into a room with something on their minds other than awards and music, which is rare for the awards and music. Like, the last time I think this probably happened was maybe when Kobe died, right? And then we were doing the Grammys that time, it was like literally the night before the Grammys, or the day of or something. It's like,
I was involved in that.
You were involved in that one?
Yeah, so I've been given the job that I have now. I was given the job as executive producer of the Grammys. But what I said is I wanted to go for a year and not be number one. So I went, and I was a producer on that show, essentially being like the number two on it, shadowing Ken Ehrlich, who was the producer, because I wanted to know like how to do it. Because that's a beast of a show, and I didn't. And also, you can't just get the job, and your first time being the producer of it is being the like showrunner of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I went. For 2 years, I did the Alicia Keys one because they penciled me and they knew that I was going to be it. So, I mean, listen, if somebody says, oh, you're going to go and like help out the producer of the Grammys and you're taking this thing over, you're going to go. So it was the morning of, it was just before the dress run started. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, we heard, and I went into Alicia's dressing room and I sat there and I said, listen, just so you know, we just heard the news that Kobe's died. And she was totally shocked. And I think she had the idea that we should go and find Boys to Men and see, because they were in the building for some reason, maybe they were nominated or whatever. And so we had that idea, and then I had the idea to black out all the other shirts. Because in the rafters. And so we did a shot of that. But it was Ken Ehrlich was exec producer, but I was there that day, but you're right. It was one of the, it seems like with the Grammys, well before our time, Whitney dies.
Yeah, they call it the Grammys curse.
I mean, Whitney dies and then it happens. We've had Kobe in the house that he built at Staples Center. Obviously, we did 2 during COVID, then we had the fires this time. It's always a lot to handle.
Yeah.
It's always a lot to handle. But then you're used to that in a way because you went on television every night with The Daily Show and you would have a script that would be funny and then you'd have to chuck it out because there'd be a shooting somewhere. So didn't that give you the experience of doing that? Or do you just think it's so different because it's a one-off event like that?
Okay, so it's similar in some ways. And then in other ways, it's a lot harder and a lot different. And I'll tell you, let's take a break, and right after that I'll explain what I mean. We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break. Doing the Daily Show, and you understand this feeling because you were doing the Late Late Show with Corden.
I was.
One of the worst days, not just for the show but for people, was whenever there was a mass tragedy. You know, which would unfortunately happen all too often in America. So it would be mass shooting, mass shooting, mass shooting. This happened, you know what, it was always something like that. And those days were tough. However, the Grammys is exponentially tougher because everyone coming to the Daily Show was coming to engage in Trevor Noah's opinion of the world, or the show's processing of the world with the correspondents and everyone else. So it was like, in a weird way, it's like we're all coming to the same church. We all have the same religion, and now we're just going to process what has happened to us as people, right? And this year, like, I realized that more than most years, the Grammys is the perfect coming together of strangers, and it's something we don't have in society anymore, right? You have someone walking to the building who lives in Miami full time. They're only here because their record label or their company brought them, but they live in Miami. You've got someone who comes from London. You've got somebody who comes in from Finland and they're like an engineer and they're phenomenal, but like nobody knows them except in the music industry. You've got people from New York. You've got people
Nashville has a whole.
Yeah, Nashville has a whole contingency, right? But then you even break it up amongst like genres and ideas. You know, there's a joke. You saw the joke I made at the top when I go like mustard, and then I was like Oscar Black Friends, because I know the whole chunk of the room is like, what was that? Like what was that? Or what is happening here?
Yeah.
And its difficulty is, I think, the thing that makes it beautiful. It's like, it comes with a precariousness, but I also enjoy the fact that somebody who only listens to hip hop is now gonna hear a country artist for the first time. Somebody who only listens to pop is gonna hear a rock artist for the first time. I think there's a greater cross-pollination of fans in music at the Grammys than in any other instance. Because when else are you forced, in a good way, to engage in somebody else's ideas? Now, for me as the host, it becomes extra hard because comedy is extremely subjective, and comedy is like, people also have to come for comedy. Some people have come to the Grammys, or they're even like watching on TV, and then they're like, yeah, get done with this. I'm here for Beyonce.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Yabba, 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 yabba. Come on, get this. And I know this as well. That's the job of the host, you're like moving things along, right? But it becomes harder because
I wake up and it's there, the voice telling me to give up. I'll never give up. Slow man. Fight fatigue and energy loss all day, every day. Beat your slump. Slow man.
QuickBooks gives me the superpower to automate my invoices, track expenses, and get paid fast, so I can get back to what I love. Get more done in less time with QuickBooks Online.
because it's not a funeral, but there's been huge devastation. It's not a comedy show, but people do want to laugh.
Yeah.
You know, it's an award show, but it's also a somber night in many ways. All these things are happening, so it's much harder. Because with the Daily Show, at the end of the day, I would go, you're at the Daily Show, I'm at the Daily Show, welcome to the Daily Show.
And it's about the Daily Show.
Let me tell you when I knew how different the Grammys was. This isn't like a long ago story. 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was in a restaurant in New York, having like lunch or something, and the manager of the restaurant walked over and went, "Hey, Trevor, congratulations on hosting the Grammys. What an amazing, wow, this is going to be great for you in your career." I was like, "Thank you." And he's like, "Man, are you nervous, like doing this for the first time? This is going to be crazy." And I paused and I was like, "Huh." And then the person I was having the lunch with, really sweet, but he leaned and he's like, "What? It's not his first time, it's his second time." And that's what I realized, that like, and not even realized, I've always known this. The Grammys is not about me, nor am I, you know me, I'm not trying to make it about me. I'm trying to keep the show moving, and I'm trying to stitch things together. But there are people who are coming for their person, and if their person's not there, they're not coming.
Yeah.
So they're a fan of this artist, but the artist's not there, they're not watching. You know? And so I am just this random person who pops into people's lives, and tries to stitch together an incoherent group of people that you, in my opinion, and I'll say this to you before we forget, masterfully put it together. I've been to 5 Grammys now. Let me tell you something, Ben. The way you stitch, like just like the best new artists, you know, everyone going from Benson Boone, you know, going over to Doechii, going over to Teddy Swims, going over to Ray, like even that's hard because it's all different people doing different things, and yet you created a cohesive vibe. That's what keeps bringing me back to the Grammys.
Well, a couple of things. Firstly, it's really funny that you say that, because when you say about the show and how difficult it is for you going, all people are here for different reasons. Yeah, I think about that in the way I program the show all the time, because I'm perfectly aware that like Auntie Marilyn in Nebraska does not want to watch Doechii, and in the same way that like somebody who loves Doechii is not interested in Lainey Wilson. So that's partly why we've done as much as we can to like make the show something for everybody. Like the videos that we explain who everybody is.
But I would even interject and say, it's not that they don't want to, they don't know that
they don't know it. But we try and make it like a show that everybody will enjoy from beginning to end. I think you undermine, not undermine, that's the wrong word. I think you underserve the purpose that you have in that show. And like Corden, I got involved in the Grammys because of James Corden. So obviously I am his partner, and I was his showrunner for Late Late Show with Rob.
Business partner, by the way, not married.
Yeah, we're not married. We're not
No,
married.
people, because
you're right.
People say words that mean other things all the time, right? And then someone will be like, "Wow, James Corden's married to this guy."
Yeah.
I didn't know James Corden was even gay. And then it's a whole thing, and then it's like when Kendrick said my aunt transitioned a few days ago, and then I could feel the room go, "Wait, Kendrick's aunt just transitioned," and then. Most of the black people were like, we know what he meant. He meant passed away.
Yeah.
But then I saw a lot of white people be like,
he's got an uncle.
What? Yeah, literally, like. So yeah.
And he actually does.
You know? Yeah. Yo, man, it was very confusing. So I just wanted to throw that in.
Yes, I do love him, but he's not my lover.
Yes.
So I only got involved in the Grammys because he got asked to host it. So I went along to be his host producer. And that's when Recording Academy got to know me. And that's when CBS and Recording Academy said, would you ever? Then he decided he wasn't going to do the Grammys anymore. Alicia Keys got appointed, and they said to me, Ken is, however old he is, I think he was 70 or 80. They said, would you ever consider it? He'd run it 40 years. I was like, and that's how this all happened. But James always used to say something that I wonder if you feel. James always used to say the morning after the Grammys, and I'll never forget it, he always used to say, the thing I don't understand why I do this is, if it goes badly, it's career suicide.
Yes.
You are a joke. You are over, you are rubbish, you can never work again, it's a disaster. If it goes well, you get 12 lovely emails. You get 12 lovely emails. And he's like, why do I don't need 12 lovely emails. But he also did it for the buzz and the love of it and the excitement. And for you, I genuinely, the biggest panic I had this year was in regards to you. And I don't know if you know this. I genuinely could not have done the show this year without you. I couldn't have done it without you. It was such a high wire act because loads of people said we shouldn't do the show. Loads of people were like, cancel the Grammys, do better. What's her name? The amazing actress from Hacks, Jean Smart.
Yeah.
She said cancel all award shows and give the money to Fire Relief.
Yeah.
Whatever. So there was this real and everyone was like, why are you doing this? It's not about people picking up gold statues and all this. So there was huge attention on us, and everyone was going, you're cancelling it, right? For many reasons. One, I thought we could do real good on the night. Two, I thought it's 3.5 weeks away, and actually, we were deep in the fire. It's 3.5 weeks away. If the fires are still going,
you had been evacuated from your own home, and you were still like, I think we can do the show.
100% wanted to do it, more than ever.
Okay.
What people don't realise, and I'm going to come back to the bit about you in a second, but what people don't realise, and why I was annoyed, I don't get annoyed much, you don't. When people were like, let's just cancel it, I was like going, we did the math on this. 6,500 people, all from Los Angeles, in some ways take a wage from the Grammys happening. I'm not talking about Sabrina Carpenter in Chapel Roan. I'm talking about the people who build the stages, the caterers, the producers, the writers, the choreographers. That's how many the drivers. It's insane. So all these people saying, and a lot of them lost their houses, and a lot of them I know.
Yeah.
And the worst thing I could do to them, the worst thing as the executive producer of the show, the single worst thing I could possibly do to any of those people is go, hey guys, because you guys are struggling right now, and because you lost your house, and because you're having a really tough time, we've decided to take your wage away, okay, just to make things a bit easier for you so that you don't need to work right now, okay, I hope that makes you feel good, we're really with you, your heart's with you, I love LA. What? It just didn't understand it, and then people were like, there was somebody from Nashville who was going to come to the show, big star, and they said, their agent called and they said they don't want to take hotel rooms in LA, so we're no longer going to be doing it because we think it's inappropriate to take hotel rooms. I was like, hotel rooms right now in Los Angeles, the week of the Grammys, and actually that week, which was 3 weeks ago, we're at 32% capacity.
You know what's funny? I said this to Caesar. So Caesar, you flew in we were in South Africa, because we did the other podcast together, a few episodes, now, basically, a few weeks ago. Yeah, we did the episode together. Then he flew in, and I said to him, I was shocked. I was like, LA is empty. The airport is empty, and the flights coming in are empty, the hotels are empty, LA is empty.
But people are, they're like,
and you said, sorry to interrupt you. No. You said to me, you were like, yo man, LA's down. Like, you remember, because you said something about how everything is,
First, the flights were extremely cheap, or relatively
cheap. That's what it was.
That's what they would have been like this time last year.
Sure.
And then, as you say, everything was really available.
Everything was available because the hotels are empty. So I've got an artist team from Nashville When I live and love in it, I love LA. I'm proper.
Yeah, I don't.
No, Shane, we can talk about that too. I can't get distracted. Let me go. Okay, go. So like, you know, I feel when something like that happens, you either go. 2019, there was a fire in my garden. It was Getty Centre. We were evacuated. I thought everything was gone.
Yeah.
It was fine, my house, but I was like, get me home to London. What the hell am I doing here in this place that can burn my house down? I was like, done. This time, I don't know why, entirely different. Maybe it's because I've got 2 kids now and 2 little Americans. Maybe it's just I've grown to love this country. Maybe it's just been it's my 11th year. But I just had this pride in our city. I was like, it was this like resilience and love for it. It's why we started with I Love LA on the show. It's why we did all the like local businesses. It all came from that like heart of like what I feel like.
Yeah, you had like a uncharacteristically I say uncharacteristic because like I always find like English people are resilient, but there isn't like the same level of
smoke. Yeah. No, I know it is.
But now you have like a.
No, I do. I love this place.
Like my neighbours, and we're getting to go. We're gonna make this, and we gotta get language to the people, and we gotta. It's like, come on, USA. That's what I'm waiting for.
Whoa. I'm not chanting USA.
A few more years.
I've started to get to know my neighbours.
Few more years. Yeah, 4 more years.
Make the Grammys great again, guys. So then when this artist said, we're not going to come, but you know, we don't want to come, but and they weren't in the show anyway. They hadn't confirmed, but I was hoping to get them, and they were like, no, we're going to keep the hotel rooms free. And it was the idea that people who have been evacuated, either they are not wealthy enough to stay in a hotel for more than 2 or 3 nights. You think they're staying at the London on Sunset Boulevard for like 3 months?
Right.
Like they don't have any possessions anymore, or they're wealthy enough to rent a new place or move on.
The economics of a hotel will just never work.
Right. So the hotels are empty. Everybody knows that in this town. Bars aren't being used. Valets, like the whole thing. So that annoyed me. So that's why I was like, a friend of mine, Jeff. I hope you won't mind.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Katzenberg calls me. Literally while I'm evacuated and while everybody is going, we don't know if the Grammy should happen. And me and Harvey Mason Jr., who runs the Recording Academy, whose employees need to produce the show, we were both like, we really think we can do something good on this show. And Jeffrey called me, and Jeffrey's like one of my favourite people in the world. And he called me and he said, like, why don't we think about doing something on television with musicians for the fires? This was before Fire announced and Irving's thing. He said, I really think that you'll be the right person to put it together, get the artists, we could find a network, we do the whole thing. And I said, literally, I was in our hotel room with all my bags around me. I said, Jeffrey, but to do that, you'd need X million dollars to put on an event. I've already got X million dollars on February 2nd. It's the Grammys. Mm-hmm. You're also going to need a network to like put it on. And I was like, I've already got that. It's CBS. Mm-hmm. You'd also need people to watch it, and that's hard, but it's called the Grammys, so people will watch it. And you'd also need to get Beyonce and Taylor and Billy and Gaga and Bruno and Olivia Rodrigo in a room.
Yeah.
And I've already got that. It's called the Grammys. I was like, why would we do something for that? Why not just make that? And that's what like we needed to do. And it was a crazy high wire act for you to do, because at the one time you're going, please work with Sabrina Carpenter, but the other time you're saying, go to this QR code and help these people.
Yeah.
And I think it was an impossible job that you did unbelievably well. So much so that I want you to know something that I only found out about an hour ago.
And don't forget my cough syrup. Is it a wet or dry cough? Hello? Don't take a chance. Take Vicks Active Plus. Unlike other cough syrups, its dual action formula relieves both wet and dry cough. Vicks Active Plus.
Heavy-duty cleaner and disinfectant is a ready-to-use cleaner with a fume-free disinfectant. It kills 99.9% of bacteria and germs, including the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It inhibits mold and roaches without bleach and has a fresh lemon fragrance. Crowd Cutter Heavy-Duty Cleaner and Disinfectant will ensure your home is a safe, germ-free environment. It's excellent for use in kitchens, on hard, non-porous household surfaces and bathrooms. Clean, disinfect, deodorize, and protect in one simple step. For additional information about Kata cleaning products, visit rustodian.co.za.
During the telecast, just during the telecast, there was donations of over $8.5 million. Altogether, it's been just over 9. It's 24 million for all the weekend's events at the Grammys. Wow. But just during the telecast is 9 million. Is 8.5 million. What is fascinating about that I literally just found out a minute ago in my office, is the average donation of that was less than $50. So what happened was the biggest donation from people at home was a 30. Then it was a 10, and then it was a 5. That's 3 donations. Everything else was beneath that level. Wow. What that means is hundreds of thousands of people were watching the show and watching you go, there's a QR code, and they were donating 5, 10, 20. Enough that we raised 8 million just from those donations. That's it, because you'll think if you raise 8 million, that's 100 grand. That's $500,000. Of course, but that's not, no corporate sponsors, that's not including the artists that add up to that 24. It's just people at home. And that's because you successfully, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass, but that's because you successfully and seismically changed people to do that, people to go up to their screen and get their phone and then type in a code rather than just watching TV and enjoying the Grammys. That's because you did it really well. And so it was a high wire act, but I knew that I needed you hugely, because without you it would have been impossible to get the excitement and the joy and allow somebody to stand there and win a Grammy. To also have someone who loves and understands music, but fundamentally to get the tone right so that we could go from I Love LA, or the fireman coming on stage, or the commercials for the businesses, or all the other, or the choir that sung with Stevie Wonder from Schools That Burned Down, all those bits that we'd come up with, you had to get us through them and at the same time make a joke about, I don't know, alligator bites. Right. And that was needed. So my big, I've talked too long, I'm sorry.
No, what do you mean? This is the podcast. We have some other Grammys. You're the Grammys guy. What do you mean?
But I freaked out. Do you not know this?
I don't know anything. I'm waiting to hear it.
All right, so it was the week of the fires, which was January the 7th or 8th. And me and Harvey, and with Raj and Jesse, who also, I should credit them, they're also execs on the show, we decided we're going to go ahead with the show. So we make this announcement, we're going ahead with the show. And I'm like, great, we're going ahead, and I start planning it, and I start thinking of all these ideas, and I'm like, and then Trevor could do this, and and then Trevor could start like this, and then we could unveil the photo doors, and I'm just thinking of all of it, and really, and I'm phoning all the artists, because they all want to know that it's going to be okay. They all want to know that they're not walking into so I went around each one, not all of them, but a lot of them wanted a call to understand what we were doing, and I reassured them instantly, and they could feel, oh, there's love here, and it's going to be okay. And it got to the 12th of January or 13th of January, I don't know the exact dates, but it was and Eric Cook, the co-EP, who sort of runs the budget, comes into my office, and he says, when, we still haven't got Trevor's contract signed, when are you announcing Trevor? And I went, hold on, we haven't announced Trevor. And he's like, no. I was like, why haven't we announced Trevor? He's like, I don't know, we've never announced Trevor. I was like, I had no idea we hadn't announced you as the host. Because you and I are, I would say, very close friends. And we just assume we're doing it together. We're just, I don't think,
so here's a funny thing about me though. No, but here's a funny thing. I'm the opposite. Caesar will even tell you this. I don't assume anything. So even when they ask me, are you doing the Grammys? I say, and it's the truth, I go, they'll let me know if they want me, but until then,
we did have a conversation. No, but we'd already
but what I'm saying with the fires, and I'm saying with all of that. So I'm still going hey man, I don't, and this guy's known me, we're on 20-something years back. Caesar knows me, I take nothing for granted. I always assume that I will be fired or can be fired. Right. Anything in life can change. And I don't even have I'm like baby faced with most things. I turn around and I go, you're very relaxed. You walk in. So for me, I was just sitting in South Africa, literally just being like, man, this is crazy. Is the Grammys happening? But I don't even assume that I'm doing it, even though we've spoken, because I know you might call me and say, hey, listen, this year is different. We're going to do a different thing. And so, I'm like,
okay. But I have in my head designed an entire show.
Yeah, which I didn't know.
Based with you at the helm.
Right.
Every element of it, from like the Gen Z commercial joke, I'd already got like a bit of that. Like the whole idea of it, like everything was with you in my head. It didn't cross my mind for a second you weren't doing the show. And then Eric went, well, no, we haven't announced it. So I was like, so I had this cold sweat come over my body. It was about like, it must have been really early in the morning. Because I remember, so then it was 9 o'clock, that's right. So I call you, because I'm panicking a little bit, and it goes straight to answer phone. Then I called Rachel Rush, who's your agent, and it rang. Rachel Rush never doesn't pick up.
No, it's insta-pick.
It's insta-pick. She picks up instantly. And we just announced we're definitely going ahead with the Grammys. It rings and rings and rings. No text going, I'll call you back. So then I call your manager, Norm.
Wow.
Literally nothing. No one picks up. Thought he was getting snubbed. I am like heavy breathing. So then I'm like, all right, I haven't got Rachel. I haven't got Trevor. I haven't got Norm. Derek will pick up. Derek will pick up. So then Derek, I ring him, nothing. 5 minutes later, on Zoom, can I call back later in the day? That's far too formal for me, Derek. That is far too formal. Then Rachel Rush texts me and goes, Rachel Rush texts me, this is now like 9:45. Rachel Rush texts me going, sorry I had a missed call, been in meetings, we'll make sure we speak later in the day. And I am like, so I try you again. I'm like, oh my God. Try you again, no answer. These are 4 people who I know your listeners wouldn't necessarily know, but 4 people who pick up my call, and like friends of mine.
And what's funny is what I'm experiencing, just from, because I don't know anyone else's story, but for me, when this was all happening, I was in South Africa, and I specifically decided that I'm going to take some time away from digital devices, and I like made a whole thing. Then I wrote to one of my friends. I said to one of my friends, I was like, hey, I think I'm going to send this out as sort of an out of office to everyone, just to be like, hey, I'm staying away from my phone. Then he was like, calm down. He's like, you're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer, nobody needs you like that, dude. And then he said, if someone needs to get a hold of you, they'll find you through your people. So relax. So I was like, all right. Literally, my phone for maybe 10 days was just maybe look in the morning, maybe look at night, and that was it.
Well, I was having an utter freak out.
I'm sorry, man.
So I'm also going. All 4 of them are on a Zoom right now. It's 9 in the morning. They've read the announcement that we go ahead, and they are discussing how Trevor thinks it's not a good idea. And I'm also annoyed at myself, genuinely annoyed at myself. And it was bad producing. I made a genuine mistake. Being serious, I actually learned from this. And you don't even know about it. In my head, I think of us as kind of a unit, in that, like, I just thought, oh, Trevor will be fine with all of this.
Right, okay,
and this is great. And I'm so annoyed at myself that we had made an announcement, not with your name in it, that the Grammys was happening, and I hadn't picked up the phone to you and gone, do you think that's all right? Is that okay with you? Will you still do it? Because if you had said, I don't want to do it, I don't think I would have gone ahead and... we might have gone ahead, I'm not saying you're bigger than the Grammys, but I would have said, Harvey, I need to find a host that can manage what we're about to do before we go ahead. We can't announce we're doing it until I know who's going to be the voice of like our ideas and our vision and whatever. And I'm so angry at myself because it's a real bull job for me, and as you'll know, I'm like quite detailed.
I had no emotion. I'm sorry that you went through all of this.
So I called a meeting.
I was sleeping through the grass, enjoying a mountain.
Where the hell are Norm, Derek, and Rachel? So I called a meeting with my staff, with Patrick and Raj, and we called him, and it was about 10:30 that morning. I said, I've just got something in my stomach I have to share with all of you. Trevor's out. I think Trevor's out. I swear to God. The room, it was the most morbid room. Everyone was like, oh my God. I was like, I said I effed up. I was like, I don't know what's happened. I might be able to talk him back in. I'm spiraling. I don't know what was going on with me. I'm this like thing. But I was like, there was so much at stake for me.
Okay, that makes sense.
I put my heart and soul into this Grammys. Partly because like I love the Grammys now. I've just decided it's my baby now. I've done it 5 years and I love it, and I love the love it gets. And I'm a proper music fan, so I love that. And I just like telly and the challenge of it. And the LA thing.
And now LA is home, and I'm
fighting to raise money. Yeah. And I was like, this is so idiotic. I mean, I'm joking. Anyway, no one's expecting. Still, it's now like 11:30 and no one has called me. So I know I'm screwed. Because no one's called me back, and and it's like,
you've got to admit, that does sound weird.
it does sound weird. It's bad. And I'm like, and maybe they're annoyed I didn't check and whatever, and I knew that like Norman had friends who'd lost houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were all probably like, we shouldn't do the show. And Rachel's a very sensitive person as well, so she might have thought, I could see how all of them could say to you, in some way, I could see how all of them could go, no, I'm not sure it is the right thing for you right now. I could see the Zoom that I wasn't on at 9 a.m. It didn't exist! So then, my phone goes. Everyone's in the room. It's about midday. My phone goes. This is Trevor Noah. For the first time, it was like a girlfriend telling me if I was going to get a second date. I became this pathetic kid. So I'm like, hey, guys, give me the room. Everyone, give me the room.
Hello?
You know, so everyone files out the room. And I'm like, and I'm literally like, hello. Hi. Hello. Then I pick up the phone. Within a minute, I was like, hey man, how are you? You're like, good, I'm just in South Africa, how you doing? I was like, I'm good, everything okay with you? Yeah, just having a break moment. And literally I was like, what an idiot am I? I've spent the whole morning crying over this disaster. And I was like, I didn't know there was a disaster. I was pretending to be so cool. I've never been as uncool in my life. And I was like, so I've got a few ideas for the Grammys. At some point we should talk about it. Yeah, at some point we should just, whenever. Like, I'm around, I'm back in LA next week, let's talk then.
I'm good, thank you so much.
Sure, yeah, no, absolutely. Meanwhile, we had the opposite. Because obviously the fire's happening. Now we're wondering what's going to happen, how you're going to do it, how people are going to do it. Everyone's trying to figure out the semblance of normalcy that they can attain during a disaster like this.
Yeah.
And then you and I spoke.
We thought they were going to get cancelled.
Yeah, we thought it was going to get cancelled. And then it was you who said to me, you had like no doubt in Ben being able to pull it off.
I
didn't have a doubt.
But I'm
and it's for 2 reasons, right? So I'm obviously, I've worked with you guys for like 4 years now. I've seen how you guys do your thing, and I know the chemistry you have, right?
I'm good, thank
the first time in Vegas, I was familiar with the work, but obviously I'd never seen you deliver. And after that year, I even told him, I said, this is the right person for you. Like, I've never seen an on-air chemistry like what you guys have. And I'm not even saying this because right? Like, he'll know. So, when you guys decided, you put up the announcement even on Instagram. And funny enough, I sent you a DM, and my response was like a fire emoji. Which I then thought, that's the wrong emoji.
I was sat in my house with 2 hoses.
Yeah, but I was 100% sure you'd be able to pull it off. I just knew that the tone of the show would have to be different, for sure. Which is what we initially discussed.
Yeah.
And everything from that point on.
Did you ever, so my instinct was obviously wrong. As in, like, you weren't pulling out. No. But did you ever consider, actually, maybe I shouldn't be hosting it this year, or I don't want the challenge of it this year, or you know what, maybe this isn't for me? Did it cross your mind at any point, or you were just as easygoing as you made out to me on the phone?
Okay, let's take a break. I'll think about it. I'll think about it, and then I'll give you the answers to that. So I want to take a moment to talk about ZipRecruiter. No matter what job you're searching for or hiring for, ZipRecruiter can help. Today we're talking about the Grammys, and if you just think about a show like that, it's incredible the number of very specific jobs that go into putting it all together. You know, it's actually funny. Speaking of jobs, you and I met on a production set, basically. Like I was doing, the kids show. You were doing, what were you doing at the time? MTV?
MTV stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing MTV. And so you go there day one. And what do you expect?
Well, I didn't really have an expectation because how I got my job was via like an open audition.
Yeah.
So literally everything was a learning experience. And just, okay, what do you do? Then they'll tell you, then you move on. Okay, what do you do? What's your role? How does it all fit together to then create the big production?
That's probably the most mind-blowing part of a production, is how many people need to come together to make it happen. Yeah. Like I speak to people all the time who will say to me, hey Trevor, I want to work in entertainment. Then I go, doing what? And they're like, what do you mean doing what? I'm like, doing what? There's literally everything in entertainment. I remember when I discovered there's somebody whose job it is to make sure that the cables that are on the cameras don't get tangled up because
cable pressure.
That's one of the most important people on the job. Like running along the sidelines of the NFL or at a live show like the Grammys or you name it. Like that person's job is just to make sure that the cables don't get tangled so that you at home don't miss the shot.
You know, I've always wondered, what's the first boy grip? I've always did that since I was a kid. You know, I was like, I wonder what the first boy grip is. Like, what is that?
It's the grip that is most important. That's
but what's first boy?
Hey man, this is why you need like hiring staff. Because I mean, how many jobs are there? Do you know what I mean? Like think about everyone thinks of a cameraman.
Yeah.
When a movie's being made or when a show's being created on live TV, do you know how many different people are making that camera work? You know what I mean? You watch something, you think two people were having a conversation. You don't know behind them there were 200 people making it look like it was just two people having a conversation. And all of those roles need people.
And they need to be filled. You need to know where to go and find them.
And that's where ZipRecruiter comes in. Every day ZipRecruiter helps 10 million candidates with their job search, which means no matter the role or industry, they can help your business find qualified candidates fast. And when they say no matter the role or industry, they really mean it. Whether you need to find that one person, that one employee for your small business, or staff for a big event, you can see for yourself by going to ZipRecruiter.com/Trevor. With smart matching technology and handy tools like the invite to apply feature, you'll find a potential hire in no time. ZipRecruiter is the hiring site employers prefer most, based on G2. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Trevor. That's ZipRecruiter.com/TREVOR. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Okay, so 2024 is coming to a close. I've been on tour almost for 2 years. This is like me finally wrapping things up. I put on a few extra shows in New York, at the Beacon, the Comedy Cellar, at a little theater downtown, at the Soho Theater. And then I decided I'm going to go to South Africa for Christmas. I'm going to go spend time with my mom. And then I'll spend New Year's in South Africa in Johannesburg, which I don't regularly